and I stopped, but it's still recording. So I'm erasing a ton of stuff. You remember Cheryl?
Of course. Yeah, Cheryl's been a faithful follower of our wellness podcast, Well Wave Now podcast. So great to see you
Great.
again, Cheryl.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everything I'm learning there.
Yep. Hi,
Greg,
Lindsay. How
how
are
many
you?
kids? Greg, how many kids do you have?
4. Yep.
Cheryl is in Virginia. Why don't you tell it, Cheryl?
I'm sure he's heard it. Where I'm in Virginia because we had a new baby that made
Oh,
5 kids here. There's 7. So it's a lot different than 12 and 9 in
well,
Arizona.
yeah,
So
congratulations. That's awesome.
number 18 grandkid.
Wow.
18 grandkids. I
Yeah.
thought I was doing well with one.
Yeah. And you had to wait an awfully long time for that one too, Bob.
Yeah, well, between you, me, and the fence post, I won't say it too loud. She's pregnant again.
Oh, awesome. That's
We're,
exciting.
I've told you this
And they're
before.
still here in Scottsdale, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I tell everybody that Karen and I are kidaholics. We love kids, love kids.
Yeah.
And their 2-year-old now is a precious little thing.
Yeah, it's
So,
so fun. So fun.
well, we got some people here. So, why don't we do some introductions? Cheryl, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Cheryl McBride from Mesa, Arizona. No, I'm not. I am from Mesa, Arizona, but I am in Virginia because we just had a grandbaby and we're making sure that baby lives. So I teach financial education and we help people with whatever trouble they're struggling with at the time. We educate and then we walk them along the plan that fits them the best. And I'm pretty excited to do this until I walk off the planet. So thank you.
It's awesome.
Glad to have you here. Breck?
Yeah, Breck Rice, Phoenix, Arizona, is where my offices are. I moved from Scottsdale to East Valley, Gilbert, when my oldest daughter made us grandparents. So we had to get closer to the grandbaby. So a little like Cheryl, don't have quite as many grandkids as she has, but it's super fun being a grandparent. But I'm in healthcare, been in healthcare for over 20 years. We set up wellness clinics inside of community pharmacies. But even though we're in a pharmacy setting, we're actually doing more de-prescribing or getting patients off of medications that are more harmful than good. I have kind of the philosophy that if the side effects outweigh the benefits, it's time to do something different. And I host 3 different podcasts. One is weekly, the Well Wave Now podcast. So love everybody to subscribe and participate in that. I'll put a link in the chat here for you all. But yeah, I'd love to have you on. We have excellent speakers, usually experts, MDs, PhDs from different industries. We did a whole series just on exercise as medicine and all the benefits of exercise. So I think you'll find something very beneficial if you are into living longer and being healthier. Thanks.
Good stuff. All right, Lindsay, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
All right, I'm back again. My voice is a little different because I have a cold, but my name is Lindsay Barton, and I'm a CPA and also a realtor. And I live in Gold Canyon, Arizona, but I primarily serve like all of the East Valley for real estate. And let me know if you're buying or looking to buy or sell a house in the future. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
And Lindsay, are those interest rates going to come down for us?
Yes.
Was that a positive thing this last election then, for as far as house market goes?
I think we're still kind of waiting to see, but definitely, I did an open house last weekend, and there were many more people there than before the election. I think part of that is also with the weather being better, because open houses when it's 110 degrees out make it pretty difficult to
Yeah.
get people to.
Yeah.
It's no
Good.
fun.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. And I filled out your questionnaire this time, Bob.
Oh, great. Okay.
So if you send me any referrals would be great.
Okay. Sounds great. I sure appreciate it. We'll see what we can dig up. Now, I'm looking at your profile on LinkedIn, and you don't mention anything about real estate in there.
Correct. So I just started in September. So I need to either change that or get a new profile for the real estate.
Okay. Well, I'd love to talk to you about that. That's what I kind of do for a living. So,
Kinda.
yeah, I help people with their profiles. I've been managing LinkedIn accounts for, oh my God, well over 20 years. So I have a team of people that work for me.
Yeah, Bob's helped me add about 4,000 connections on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Thank you. I'll take that compliment. All right, Michael, you want to tell us who you are, what you do?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good. My name's Michael. I live here in I live in Scottsdale, but I work over in Phoenix. I work for a marketing firm. We're up in Midtown right now in the Bank of America building, but we basically do anything as far as advertising goes. A lot of lead generation is kind of our main thing. Just kind of getting leads for a lot of home service businesses or you can think of. But I actually just moved here about 6 months ago from the Chicago area. So I'm still pretty fresh, just trying to get my name out there and see how many people I can help.
You bring your snowshoes with you?
I did. Thank God. I couldn't fit them in my pack.
I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Joe, you want to tell us about yourself, what you do?
You bet. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Funicelli. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Been out here about 25 years. My background is food service. I worked for Cisco Foods and Shamrock Foods out here in Arizona. Pretty much the last 25 years, other than 5 years, I broke off and partnered in a sports nutrition distributorship. Had a lot of fun doing that. But then over time, sold my shares and got back into the food service arena. Recently, I resigned from Cisco and I'm now with a company called Veritiv. We are actually a manufacturer of packaging. So part of the arena that most of my background is from, but now just focusing on building the food service leg of the company. So I work with larger restaurant chains and offer them value added products and savings. I mean, food service disposables, containers, cups, things like that. You don't make money on those items. And nowadays, restaurateurs margins are very, very lean. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to save on their bottom line, make them more money, and we also do a lot of private label logos. So if you folks are connected with any food service, any restaurateurs or restaurant groups, I'd love to I'd love to present to them what we offer and just start to build up my networking.
Yeah. I mean, your time at Shamrock, I just have to mention, and we're huge fans of Rockin' Protein.
Oh yeah, rock and refill.
Always have that in our fridge.
Yeah, that was part of their dairy. They started as a dairy company and then evolved into a full broadliner, which basically means they sell everything now, meats and seafoods and chemicals, small wares. Great company.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
There's also, let's see, Alfredo.
How's it going, guys?
Excellent.
Good, good. So, guys, my name is Alfredo. I'm actually Michael's coworker. I work for Ben's Media. We're a marketing firm here in Phoenix. So we do a lot of digital marketing, SEO. We build websites. We work a lot with real estate agents, with lawyers, gyms. We're branding their brand awareness. We work with a couple of restaurants. So Joe, I think that would be beneficial for you as well. So we got to connect. Lindsay, I heard that you're starting on this journey of being a real estate agent. So I believe we can also connect, help you out with that, since we have experience on building websites is for individuals like just like yourself, and basically connect. Also, we do networking events in person here in the Metro Phoenix area. Michael, I think right we got a Diablo Rooftop. Have you guys ever heard of Diablo Rooftop before in downtown Phoenix?
I haven't.
So probably we have a couple networking events. All of you guys are more than invited to pull up. I'll probably drop the address on the chat. But yeah, that's what I do basically. So whatever you guys need in marketing and branding, me and Michael are the guys to hit you up for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad to have you here. Okay, who else we have? We have Joe, you went. Michael Harris.
Alicia, you haven't done her.
I can definitely go.
Yeah, talk to us.
All right. Okay, I'm Alicia Beckerly. And so I am a small business bookkeeper, and I do my bookkeeping a little bit differently. I mean, I do the bookkeeping the same way normal bookkeepers do their jobs, but I run my business a little different. All of my clients get kind of a mini CFO experience where I send out a series of 7 different reports, and then I either record, depending on if they want to get on a call or not, either get on a call with them and the call is recorded, or I just record myself explaining and going through their reports, and it's all uploaded into a secure portal where they have access to it forever and always. I'm also adding full CFO advisory to my services starting this month. And that's kind of basically what I do. I work with small businesses. So it's typically under $4 million. No business is too small. If you have a really, really small business and you're like, I just need help, I offer Slack support for that, where you can just shoot me a message. It's really cheap. You can shoot me a message anytime and ask me questions, but you don't need the full services. My whole goal in life is to make sure that every business has some type of a bookkeeper and has access to the support that they need financially. Being a business owner is hard enough. You don't need to make it any harder on yourself. And I also offer automations that kind of roll in with that. I can automate your bookkeeping for you. I can also automate your CRM, things like that. Set your business up so that you have more time for yourself. That's a little about me. And my information's in the chat, so you can check out my websites. It has kind of everything I do on there.
Yeah, please put your information in the chat. And you're also a veteran too, right?
I am. I always forget that. I don't know why I forget it, but I forget to say it.
Well, just
But yeah.
considering Monday was Veterans Day, so
Yeah, thank you for your service.
yep. Yep. Me too.
Yes. Bob as well.
Yeah, it was a slightly different era. I got out of the service in 1971 or 1972, so I was in during Vietnam, you know. Although I didn't go to Vietnam, I was a lucky guy out of 1,000 guys waiting for permanent duty stations. I ended up getting detached from the U.S. Navy and assigned to NATO. So, I spent 3 years active working for Alexander Haig at his comm station in Norfolk, Virginia. So, long time ago.
Yeah.
In those days, by the way, it was dogs and sailors keep off the grass. Things are different now. By the way, there's like 16 million veterans in this country. And I didn't go out this Monday. But usually wherever I went, uh free food. When they find out you were in the service, the restaurants offer you free food, you know.
That's
Couldn't
nice.
couldn't get my wife off her butt to go do anything. So we stayed at home, you
So
know.
Bob, we have one more Tyler that came in a little late. We haven't heard from yet.
Oh yeah, Tyler, please.
Hey Bob, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. My apologies for my tardiness. I had a meeting run long. But yeah, I'm Tyler Nanny. I'm in the wealth management business. I own a financial advising practice here in Phoenix. I run it out of the Biltmore location. I help my clients with risk management planning, brokerage and advisory portfolios, retirement planning, as long as some unique tax planning and estate planning strategies.
Good stuff. I'm just looking you up on LinkedIn.
I believe this is my fourth time coming to this. I missed the last couple.
Yeah, I forgot you were with Northwestern Mutual. Good
That's
company.
right.
Good company. And you're in Scottsdale, right?
I live in Scottsdale. I work out of the Biltmore office off of Camelback.
Got it. Got it. All right. Well, it's always exciting stuff to see. You know, the objective of this group is getting to know each other and being able to refer people to each other. That's the name of the game, right? So here's a question for every one of you. How much of your business comes from referral? Love to hear it.
Me
Tell the other.
specifically.
Pardon me?
Me specifically.
Yeah, we'll start with you.
Um, Probably 65, 70% of my business.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go next. Alfredo?
Yeah, so for us, we're not so much referral based. We're mainly cold call agencies, but we mainly get referrals from current clients that we have. For example, we work with the in Los Abogados is an association of lawyers here, Hispanic lawyers in Arizona, and literally they have membership of like I want to say 20 lawyers, and we locate have like 10 lawyers from that membership program, and it was like clockwork. Like, oh, we got one, then another one, and it was great. It was great, but usually not much referrals. We have to do a lot of networking. We have to do a lot of cold calling since marketing is such a high demand and competitive industry to be in.
Well, they say that 60% of most people's new business comes from a referral.
Yeah.
Oh, and that you kind of voice that to a certain extent because you're meeting people, you ask them to introduce you to somebody else, right?
No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's referral based. And that, by the way, that's written on oh, I can't remember one of the huge websites. Um, can't think of it right now. But yeah, look, the easiest form of business, new business comes from referrals because the people are introducing you.
Yeah, they're warm leads,
They're
basically.
warm
Yeah,
leads, you
yeah.
bet. They're warm leads. And so we're really
No, I love those.
yeah.
If most of my clients would be warm leads, my job would be like 30 times easier for sure.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yep. Why make life difficult when you can make it easy?
I
And
like that. I like that. I gotta steal that from you.
and I always say I've been married for 41 years, so I didn't make my life easy. My wife's in the other room.
Gotta watch out, Bob. You're gonna be in the dog pound after that one.
Well, I usually say to my wife, I said, just let me know when I've done something right.
There you go. There you go.
Excuse me, this may be the last time you see it.
You look like you're wearing the same. Oh no, it's a different shirt.
So Bob, to your question about referrals, my company, my main revenue cycle management company, we attend industry conferences more for PR now, right? Because we have pretty good penetration. But it's always the best when you're sitting there visiting at the booth and one of your clients brings his peers up to you and they say, you've got to get enrolled in this program. It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing we've ever done. So having that, third party endorsement is so beneficial to your business.
Well, tell us a little bit more about what and how you do things.
What,
I know it's a tough question.
I do so many things. It's like I feel a little bit like Ryan Seacrest, but I just don't pull down his bank, right? How he hosts like 50 different things, but I host 3 different podcasts. I serve on 2 different boards, and have co-founded a revenue cycle management company right here in Phoenix called ServeRx. So, which one would you like me to focus on?
Gee whiz, that's a good question. I mean, ServeRx, that's I'd say it's a relatively highly successful organization.
Yeah, so ServeRx been around for about 11 years now. It was born out of the need for a true third party payer to be in the industry for community pharmacy. I started in healthcare in 2003 with the grandfather of the industry in third party billing company called a nice generic name for a third party claims processor called Third Party Solutions. See how that goes? Yeah, so TPS or third party solutions was the grandfather. Every pharmacy in the country used that program to outsource their third party billing for default, workers' comp, all of the plans that people don't pre-enroll in. So like no one gets up one day and says, you know what, I think I'm going to get hurt on the job today. I better go enroll in workers' comp. No, you only get enrolled after the injury happens. So TPS filled that gap and took care of those patients until they were actually a claim on file with Liberty Mutual, Travelers, Hartford, whoever the carrier might be. Well, that company was acquired by a big health system and rolled up underneath one of their pharmacy benefit management companies, PBM, called Optum. Optum's one of the biggest in the country right now. Well, for community pharmacies, that would be like me going to the dark side if I went to work for Optum, right? Because they're the devil for reimbursement to poor independently owned community pharmacies. So I left, and Optum gave me a going away present. 3 days later, a sheriff deputy knocks on my door and delivered my going away present from a gift from a deputy or something like that. So mine was a temporary restraining order, a TRO or a gag clause to keep me quiet so I wouldn't go tell the Albertsons and Safeways and Kroger's and all the independent pharmacies that, hey, your reimbursements that you used to get from TPS of $50 to $100 are now going to be $3 or $4, which is exactly what they did. So they wanted me quiet for a while. But once that ran its course, then we started the new and improved third-party solutions called ServeRx. So we give pharmacies fair reimbursements. That's why they sign on with us. And so if a pharmacy partner, if we're at a conference like a national chain drugstore meeting or something like that, and we're sitting there talking to HEB out of Texas, and one of their friends walks up, they're like, you have got to hear about this program. Are you enrolled yet? Most of them are already enrolled. So we've got about 20,000 pharmacies under contract. But if they haven't heard of us, then, someone else is usually doing all the selling for us.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You've been at this for how many years?
Since 2003.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm really old. But I am a really old guy that's on TikTok. So I'll have you know that I do, because every old bald guy should be on TikTok. That's the last place that I'd ever be doing social media. But I launched a campaign about scary drug facts about a year and a half ago, and I have about 120,000 followers now that follow that content on scary drug facts. So
Well, you're certainly in an area that people want to know more rather than less. And so if you keep it simple, keep it easy, then they can absorb it a lot quicker, right?
Yeah, that the 100+ thousand followers jumped on because of 60 seconds, right? Telling them something in 60 seconds. Hey, that Wegovy and Ozempic that you're wanting to jump on to drop some pounds. Well, guess what? It causes blindness. There's 3 independent studies now that show that it leads to blindness. So those semaglutides are not good, and everybody's jumping on them. And you tell them just some simple facts about the medications that were prescribed. And then I always end it by, hey, if the side effects outweigh the benefits, you do need to do something different. There's some really great medications out there that are helping a lot of people, but between 50 and 70% of the medications that somebody's been prescribed, that patient can't even metabolize it. So they need to know that. That's actually next week's WellWave Now topic. So I put the link in the chat. Guys, join us to the live recording. We're actually going to talk about pharmacogenomics and making sure that the medications that were prescribed to you or to your loved ones, our geriatric population are on so many medications. They're on 7 to 30 medications, and chances are 10 or 12 of those medications aren't even being metabolized. But that's okay, Bob, because they're still getting the negative side effects. Your wife knows this. She's a nurse.
Yeah, she knows this inside and out. Yeah, I'll have to give her that link.
Tell Carol she's got it. Yeah, listen in. I want her to participate. I want her to give me some hard questions on Tuesday.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my wife in 2008, I got a staph infection, and the doctor comes into my room and says, "Bob, I only give you a 5% chance of making it." He says, "I don't think you're going to be around the next couple of days." And my wife just, didn't believe it. And I'm here because she didn't believe what they said. She was telling the doctors what to do versus the doctors telling you everything. So don't believe what every doctor says. They might not have the answer. They walk around like this with tunnel vision a lot of times because they're so rote at doing certain things a certain way. And the world's changing. Would you say that?
But remember, Bob, it's the practice of medicine. There's no perfection there. It's the practice. And then if you take it a step further, our wonderful MDs and DOs, spent 14 years in medical school, but only 1 semester in pharmacology. So it's probably a good idea to check with your pharmacist who has a 4 to 6 year degree in pharmacology about medications rather than your doctor.
That's that. Do me a favor, put that in the chat room because I want to show that to Karen later. Can you do that?
Sure.
All right. Anybody curious what I do? Nobody? Okay.
We know.
I have a question for
added
you on
4,000 followers to my LinkedIn. We know you're the LinkedIn expert.
Thank you.
So can you make them? So fun fact. If you go into my LinkedIn and you looked at my pages, right? My bookkeeping page, no matter how much I try to convince them that I don't have access, they don't believe me. I don't have access to inviting people to see that business page.
Oh,
And LinkedIn doesn't believe me.
Do me a favor. I think Mehedi's on this. Yeah, Mehedi's here. Put something into the chat room for Mehedi. The picture of mycity.com. That he's the head of my social media. He attends all the meetings and he gives it, he does all the work, So, but the world's changing. And it's changing drastically now as a result of AI. It's accelerating and it's going to continue to accelerate. So one of the things that I've been talking about for quite a while is that one of these days the government's going to have to wrap their arms around AI and what it can do. There's a lot of hacking going on in artificial intelligence, and it's going to continue to increase because now it's the big animal out there, right? How many of you are using AI?
We use AI a little bit. We try not to use it so much because with marketing, it's you can tell when it's AI, because it's these big, beautiful, words and slogans and stuff like that. So we use it to try to give us ideas, but um, not use it specifically just to get something done super quickly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think as an organization, you're going to need to wrap your heads around AI because it's a changing environment and it will continue to change. I mean, ChatGPT is enormous at this
Oh
point.
yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah,
Still
absolutely.
very beneficial to check though the work,
Right.
right?
Of course, yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
to start and have a good base to start with, but then make sure you do some fact checking,
Right.
especially when it comes to something that's science based and because I use it all the time for drug interactions, right? But then you need to go check the actual studies and on PubMed.gov or somewhere else to make sure it's legitimate.
Yeah, no, that's such a valid point. That the world is changing and it will continue to change. And if you do not incorporate AI into your business, then you're going to be left in the dust. And uh, what I've started doing for some clients is managing their AI, or we'll do all the work. And I think that's it's going to help because people are lost when if I'd say the vast majority of people with AI, they're using like Chat GPT, but that's not the end all answer. The end all answer is coming up with valid questions and statements that you want to make and see the reaction to those statements. Right, Breck?
Yep.
It's the home base. So you got to start by learning. And once you start to learn, then it takes off. And I'm starting to just get into managing people's AI for them. It doesn't just involve, Chat GPT. There's a lot of other players that are out there in the market and being able to, and they're all exploding, right? So if you don't get involved in AI at whatever level, you got to start somewhere, and that's the most beneficial thing you can do.
I'd be interested to know what AI platforms people are using. I mean, everyone knows about chat, but what about some of the other platforms?
Well, that's true. You know what? I've got some notes around here somewhere that I've been keeping on it and the size and breadth of where they reach, So what I'll do is I'll publish that. Breck and I started doing video interviews of people. And Breck was one of the very, very first ones to do that. And we started out, I think it was 25 minutes,
Mhm.
and went, wow, this is too long. So we reduced it to like 21 minutes, then continued to reduce it. Now we try to do um, an interview in less than 5 minutes. Because what I always talk about is people will size you up in the first 15 to 30 seconds of who you are and what you do. They look at your body language and your facial gestures, right? Is this making sense to people? Give me a show of hands. Oh, Cheryl's got two hands up. Yeah, but look, written is not your only answer. and Breck, you do a lot of videos, right?
Mhm.
And you're talking about it all the time. And it makes such a world of difference to be able to get a point across that people will actually listen to.
Yeah, we're a ADD society. You've got to have motion and movement and capture people's attention. But it's also very important that the video is not just enough. You need to make sure you have captions on, because 90% of people watching videos are watching it with the sound off or so low that they're not going to hear what you say. So you always have to have a good caption, yeah, app or something to make sure that it says the words across the screen as well.
Yeah, well, we produce videos and then we put it in YouTube because YouTube is just a hugely followed
Yep.
website. So, and then within that, we put the captions right below it. You do the video, and right below it, you put who they are, what they're doing, etc., in written text. So it's all very good. So, all right. So, any questions? Oh, maybe I should really announce who I am. I've been a LinkedIn consultant for well over 20, like 25 years. Um, and I have a staff of people that work for me, and they do the front end work. But the real key is giving somebody a question that they will respond to. So we had like 100 people register for this event. And the irony, and we did it on LinkedIn. The irony of it is that very few people follow through. They register for an event and then don't show. So kind of, I mean, it's a waste of their time as much as anybody because they don't, they don't show up, they don't participate, and I don't know what energizes people to not do something. Breck, you got any ideas?
No, it's always a numbers game. I had a roundtable yesterday for my pharmacies, and you always have 60, 80 people register. We do get a much higher participation, but I'm also pinging them, the day of, if they've registered, they're getting a reminder. You registered for this, you registered this, hour before. I'm pinging them and reminding them. So have you tried that yet with your?
Not enough. That's funny you brought this up because I reached out to Mehedi today and I noticed that this morning he sent reminders about the meeting. So and we do it all through LinkedIn.
Well, I got that reminder, and that's why I'm here, because I had another call and I moved the other call because I got that reminder.
Hey Mehedi, it worked. Yeah, we got a long way to go. And by the time we come up with a solution, there's already another issue that comes up, right? Don't you find that? We're in the world of technology. And if you don't pay attention, it'll leave you in the dust. So one idea turns into another idea. Where do you think AI came around? It exploded. It exploded. And now it's the tip of the iceberg again, right? So, questions, come on. What do you got, people?
My note taker I saw came into this meeting. I wonder if it attended the other meeting that I should have been on. So that's one thing that AI is doing right, is jumping into these Zoom meetings and taking notes for me.
I don't think they did.
It heard me talking about it. It just left.
Oh, did it? Oh my God. That's funny. Yeah, look, I mean, hey, one of the things I talk about, we're approaching the end of the year. People are scared now, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say people are very nervous about the future? No? Comments?
Yes, I've heard people are physically sick because of the election. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't. We don't. So, so what I always talk about, people are scared right now. The first, with the election and subsequent to the election, that didn't get rid of people's nervousness about their future. I think people are very, very nervous about the future. And so when do you start? Do you start January 1st or do you start now? And I always recommend start now because you're still going to learn how to get your feet wet doing things a little bit differently, and that makes a huge difference. Breck, you want to air to that?
No, I was just gonna to Cheryl's comment. I was gonna say I was actually more nervous back in 2016 when you didn't know anything. I mean, we lived through 4 years already of the incumbent or the well, yeah, the incumbent too, but the elected. So yeah, to say we don't know anything, I was more fearful back in 2016 when we didn't have a clue. Man, both were, to me, were just horrendous. We at least kind of know a little bit of what the incoming president did in, 4 years ago, 8 years ago.
The takeaway from this meeting is open your eyes. Open your eyes because we are going, whether, I don't care who was elected. What I care about is people's nervousness. And when people are nervous, there's two ways you can react. You can retreat, or you can say, I'm not going to become a victim of that. So you have to reach out. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to comment on that?
I have, I'm seeing both sides. I'm seeing people that are giddy to the point where I'm like, okay, you need to refocus yourselves because you're letting go of everything and it could go sideways. I'm also seeing, like you said, the fear, and it's coming from two places. A big part of it is I do have some clients that they're scrambling. I mean, they are scrambling to try to get stuff because we do have tariffs coming in, or we're being warned of those, and so they're trying to grab things before their prices skyrocket. And on top of that, I have a few clients that are afraid of AI. I mean, I cannot explain to them fast enough that AI is not going to take their job down. But I do have clients that are afraid that AI is just going to like completely shut off their workloads, like, their social media managers or coaches, and they're like, AI can do my job. I'm like, AI can't draw fingers. It can't do your job. But I think they're seeing the threat there. And I know from a financial stand, I am seeing that it's getting smarter and it's being used by really smart people. And financially, that could be a problem going forward if we don't increase security or create some type of rules.
Valid statement. Valid statement. Tyler, you want to comment on that?
In terms of AI?
Yeah. Or just where the world is going. I mean, that's kind of your job, is to know where the world goes, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think with this election and with AI, both positively have impacted my business in a good way. Northwest Mutual has actually incorporated their own GPT in terms of CRM as well as our LinkNet engagement. So in terms of sending follow-up emails, calendar invites, sending out illustrations through secured encryptions, like we have AI that can do all of that for us now, which is very unique. But we have to give access for that to happen. So there's always a prompt saying we can send this as an option, and then we have to approve it. So it's still limited, but it still gives us a very fun, powerful tool, I guess, to then save a lot of time, use more resources to invest back in the business, not have to hire as much staff to do more of the day-to-day stuff to run the team. So I think that's very helpful. And it just makes the job a little bit easier. And then when it comes to the election, obviously things with the market are changing. So I have a lot of inbound calls, a lot of clients being like, "Hey, we should do this now. We should do this now before the new year." So that's been positive. But I've also seen the back end of a part of what Alicia said too is people are scared. And so it's my job to make sure I give people a sense of security in what they're doing and how they're either investing, how they're planning for their future, how they're building their legacy for their children and their family. And my clients that are ranging from 20 to 55, 60 years old nearing retirement, they all have the same questions right now. And it's what should we do in the next 2 months? And how are we preparing for these changes? And so seeing the market trends, seeing how different estate tax bills are changing over 2025 and 2026 over different imposed things that are happened years ago and letting my clients know that that's been the biggest thing going forward into 2025, especially with the estate bill changing and how we can leverage different tax mitigation strategies as soon as Trump really does take over, because those are going to be changing as well. So I think getting ahead of it, like you said, having those conversations now is super important.
Yeah,
And
it's
FINRA
super
has,
important to be prepared, right? One way or the other, right? Just be prepared.
exactly,
100%.
exactly.
I,
FINRA,
I would caution real quick though on the automation for anyone because I get automated messaging all the time, right? It's great for, and this, you probably can use this too, Alicia. It's great for workflow, right? But think about it from your receiving that information. Would you like to be receiving that not so personalized information? So I get messages on LinkedIn all the time, and I can tell when it was sent out to me by a bot and not by the actual person.
Oh yeah, I definitely tell my clients strictly for workflow purposes because I'm like, you can automate even in like in social media when they automate their post scheduling. I'm like, if you do it on a dead set schedule, I was like, it the algorithm knows better. I was like, you can't do that. Some things can't be automated to that level because you can't take the humanity out of everything. People
Yeah.
want to work with people, not robots.
Yeah. That's funny that you'd say that because what's catching that automation is automation. So the
right?
Right.
algorithm is automated. It says, oh, this person posts every, second day at this particular time. We're not gonna send their feed out to everybody. That's all automated as well. So it's funny.
Yeah, well, that's the world we're in now, right?
Yes.
So it's very interesting. I just posted a note to Mehedi to make sure that he listens to the last 10 minutes of our conversation because it's going to shed a lot of light of where the world is, where we need to be. So it's always a reminder. You always got to keep that at the forefront of your mind, right? So Alfredo, as an example, Michael, tell us about what you think. Lindsay, tell us about what you think of this meeting.
For me personally, I loved it. Like meeting great individuals like you guys. Just being aware of the opportunity is the main thing. I know that you were saying earlier that it was 100 people that signed up and like not as much people showed up. That lets you know how aware individuals are and how hungry they are and nowadays to be successful. So low-key, we're like the one percenters in wanting to progress in life and stuff like that. And it's truly a pleasure meeting all of y'all. I dropped my information in the chat. So if any of y'all need any marketing or just want to connect, hit me up whenever you guys want.
Hold on a second. Somebody's at my door. Give me a second. You guys keep chatting.
It's hilarious.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you guys. And I know I showed up a little bit late. If you guys don't mind, if you can repost your contact information in the chat, that would be awesome for me. I got Michael and Alfredo, but I don't have anybody else.
Yeah, we got Michael in there too. So let me go
See if
ahead.
I can repost it for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like Lindsay's ready to speak.
I was just going to say that I enjoyed the meeting and also to comment on people signing up and not showing up. I think part of that is people forget. So the reminders are a really good idea. Also, I know for myself, if I work remotely and if I have a phone call with a client or I'm helping a colleague, if it comes up the day of, there's nothing I can really do. I already signed up for the event. So I think that happens to people as well, where they'll sign up and then they have a current work obligation and they can't attend.
It's interesting because almost all of our occupations are embroiled in some form of marketing, whether it's face to face, whether it's Zoom meetings, but it's always about increasing your relationships with people, right? That makes sense?
100%. Yeah, that's all it is for sure. I did want to comment on one thing too. So last week I actually signed up for this as well, but I didn't attend because to be honest with you, I just completely forgot. I it just slipped my mind. So when Lindsay was saying that the automated messages might be like a good way to get more people to come in, I absolutely would agree with her too. So yeah, no, that's yeah.
There's a
Oh,
feature in
we
Zoom if you've registered and you've set this up through Zoom, then you can just resend the invite and just push it back out to everybody.
yeah, it's important that we try to approach it from multiple standpoints. One is um, almost all of the people that show up here are connected on LinkedIn. So we sent out a reminder on LinkedIn as well. And they sent those out. I think it was like 5 o'clock this morning. They sent out
Yeah,
reminders.
Cheryl, what did you say you got yours at 1:30 in the morning or something? I saw a note from Cheryl.
Yeah, mine was at 1:16.
1:16 a.m.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure why.
Well, it's because you're over in the East Coast. You're Eastern time right now.
Yep, that's right. I'm Eastern.
Yeah. Well, who knows? That's what the
Yeah,
clock.
I don't know if you guys have Zoom Workplace or not, but I actually get reminders every 30, 15, and 5 minutes before any Zoom Workplace meeting. And that's sent to my phone and to my calendar.
And that's
And
you're saying you sending that sent through
like this meeting was reminded to me 3 times in a 30-minute, 15-minute, and 5-minute interval
on Zoom.
from Zoom itself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's sent to my laptop and my phone.
you might want to check into that, Bob, because you've got an enterprise license for Zoom.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just wrote it
Check
down.
into that.
You're learning something every day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I always think personalized confirmation texts the night before and the morning of are super important too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
true.
I'm in the business of I guess for lack of better terms, getting told no for a living. So and having a spread where you're meeting and you're getting in front of X amount of people, there's data that shows only a certain percent of those people are going to actually keep the meeting. And so in order to give yourself a better chance of keeping the meeting, you got to send some sort of personalized text, right?
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
We're testing another message right now to see what the response rates are. And so it tells us a lot. And we record, who responded, when the date they responded, and what was the message that they sent back. So all we have is those relationships. You build them one person at a time. Anyway, let's see. We're 4 minutes to the hour. Anybody want to leave some interesting thoughts, and then we'll sign off. Nobody?
Do
Come
the
on.
right thing. Do the right thing for your clients every time.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Who was that? Was it Mark Twain that said that? Doing right is never wrong.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
You said a lot of things, like what's that about intelligence if you can spell a word so many different ways?
That's me. I feel sorry for somebody that's so close-minded they can only spell a word one way. So get creative.
Greg, thrilled you were here today.
Yeah, it was good to see you and catch up with you again, Bob. And always remember when the side effects outweigh the benefits, do something different on those medications.
Amen. Amen. I love it.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right,
it's nice
gang.
meeting everyone. Take
Greg,
care.
Good
great.
day.
Nice meeting you. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Right.
Take care all.